And I was quite shocked to reread this stuff again, how actually sexy a lot of Edward's poems are. So I'm going to read one which I find really beautiful, called Sheets. It is night, and there will be no love. In darkness, I carry the day's burden. You are with me. I hold you to touch your sleep, so that I sleep. And in the morning, when light stretches on the horizon, the earth raises her arms to lift the sun, as a mother holds her child to the window, and we are dazzled in our sheets. And you get the connection there with nature. He's a great nature poet. And the next one is written for around the play called The Sea. Seasons. How gentle the terrible seasons come and go, each one measuring out merely one length, like a man prostrate before a king or pope. Summer never attacking the house of winter. Autumn never digging up the bones of spring, the vast clouds piling upon their littler selves to fall. The iron vice of anger that holds its threat for generations, the frown that becomes its own repose, the path worn in the small garden of the prison madhouse, round and round, close to the wall to open up the space, the tyrant bequeathing death to others in his will, sending his living herdsmen through houses and streets and open places, trailing ropes. These are not seasons. The black storm, ice shattering its skull at night, flood carrying tree roots at its head. These are the mild seasons. The mild seasons come and go, and in the change we live, as a travelling ship tosses from side to side on unending waves. Only water can balance air. Only air rest on water. Only such lightness carry the weight of the world. That's Seasons. This is quite a long one, which is slightly ironic because it's called In Praise of the Simple and Clear. And some of us might actually think, well, sometimes Edward's not always simple and clear. In essence, he is, of course. In the silence between thunder, the dry grass whispers. In the storm, you may hear rivulets run by the feet of ants. After great wars, a woman sits in a chair in front of her door to watch the evening sun. And a child, with its chin on its knees, writes with a stone in the road. In the knot, the rope is bound to itself. One force holds another so that the rope pulls with itself and against itself to make a new force that holds the boat fast to the swift mooring. And the forces can be plainly seen in the knot. The first people understood many things. In caves, ideas were used with precision. In prisons, there are ideas torturers cannot reach. And in the heads of the condemned taken to be shot, there is knowledge that later brings down the official who signed the warrants for execution. I love all that is clear. Great men would have destroyed the world and philosophers driven us mad if people had not stood on the streets with their child on their arm and its arm round their neck and told each other about their lives, and stopped in shop doorways on their way home from work to pass judgment. It's true that workers have killed each other so that their masters might prosper. And as their child lay sick in rags, marched in uniform through streets of bunting, while their master's child, propped in its parents' arms with an arm around its mother's neck, waved a flag at them from a window. As the child breaks toys, so the master breaks people and their accord with each other. When the puppet dances, look for the strings so that your eyes are led to the puppeteer. Crowds have marched to war or church or work dangled on strings held in skeletons' hands. We should accustom ourselves to see who dangles on strings held in skeletons' hands. For always there are these simple things: reason and careful judgment, and listening before and after speaking. Cherish all that is simple and clear. Things obscure or hidden or dark are not treasures of untellable wisdom, but violence against people to persuade them that they cannot learn to be human and take their lives from them. Praise all that is simple and clear. Things as broad as the sea and deeper than lines that fathom oceans. When water is taken from the deep and cupped in the hands, it is clear. And this truth changes the world and shows us how to live. I live in London, and most weeks I cross London Bridge in London to go to work. And I want to read a poem now by, it's actually the character Rose in the play Restoration, which is Edward's fabulously funny and mordant take on Restoration comedy. And it's the servant girl Rose right at the very end of the play. And she has this short prose piece and then a song. I won't sing it, I will read it. I stand on London Bridge. Bodies float in the sky and sink towards the horizon. Crocodiles drift in the Thames. On the embankment, the plane trees rattle their fingers. Men walk the city streets with chains hanging from their mouths. Pillars of black smoke rise between the towers and the temples. The stars will come out like scabs on the sky. Poem Man is what he knows. Does the judge say, I send your arms to prison today, but your feet are free to walk away? Does the boss buy the apple core from the market stall and leave the skin? He buys it all. Do the troops shoot to kill your stomach, but not your head? They shoot to kill, you drop down dead. Once Satan roamed the earth to find souls that money could buy. Now he comes to steal your mind. He doesn't wait till you die. Man is what he knows or doesn't know. The empty men reap death and sow famine wherever they march, but they do not own the earth. Sooner believe I could strike it a blow with my fist and miss. Geese fly over the moon and do not know that for a moment they fill the world with beauty. Flakes do not know where they fall in the snow. Wind and rain cannot tell where they blow. but we may know who we are and where we go. And last poem I'd like to read is a speech from an opera libretto that he wrote. And every time I have a friend or a couple who've just given birth, I always send them this, because I think it's fabulous. It's a song of an old woman to a child. Shall I tell you who is weak? The weak buy men for riches and sell them for famine. They paint flowers on the desert and call it a garden. They smile like the torturer and bow like the judge. They lead armies to hell so that they shall have a kingdom to rule in. Shall I tell you who is strong? Child, you are strong. You have nothing, and your hands are small. But the world spins like clay on a potter's wheel, and you will shape it with your hands.